While many of today's epic adventures and animation extravaganzas would have you believe otherwise, a good film cannot survive without good characters. And many times those characters are not the stars of the film, and actually most of the time the best characters are not the stars of the film. That's where character actors come into play. And there are plenty of great character actors who have had long, storied careers turning bad movies into good experiences. This Pop Chronicle is all about the people who make every movie they're in better. My 5 favorite character actors in movie history. There are hundreds of men who could have made the list. The modern greats like J.K. Simmons, Steve Buscemi, Keith David, Clancy Brown, William Fichtner, or Stephen Root. The all-time greats like Eli Wallach, Jack Elam, Carl Malden, Strother Martin, Ossie Davis, J.T. Walsh, John Witherspoon, and the ubiquitous and inimitable James Hong. Then there are those who are so good at being character actors they became leading men. People like Paul Giamatti, Don Cheadle, William H. Macy, Morgan Freeman, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and the most successful of all, Samuel L. Jackson. But none of those great names can move into my 5 favorites, a list that more than likely is mine and mine alone, and a list that will surely show my age. Coming in at number 5 is the reason I made the list. After hearing about the passing of Yaphet Kotto last week, I started thinking about the films and shows he was so good in, and the idea of this list was born. Kotto came to prominence as Mr. Big, the James Bond villain in Live and Let Die, and spent the 70s creating unforgettable characters in blaxploitation classics and TV movies, ultimately landing his most memorable role as Parker in Ridley Scott's Alien. In the 90s, he retired from film and worked in television only, eventually creating his finest character in the criminally underrated Homicide, Life on the Street. He made everything better. At number 4 on my list of favorites is someone who also made his mark in the Alien franchise, Lance Henriksen. Henriksen was illiterate until his early 30s when the painter and set designer landed his first acting role, and the acting world has been all the better for it. From playing Bishop, the android in Aliens, to Charles Bishop Weyland in Alien vs. Predator, the vampire Jesse Hooker in Near Dark, numerous gunslingers and Western archetypes, FBI agents, biker gang leaders, artists, and activists. He has appeared in Spielberg films, B-movie horror offerings, and was the first choice of James Cameron to play the Terminator, a role that went to Arnold Schwarzenegger instead. His talent, that gravelly voice, and his amazing intensity allow him to make everything he is in better. If you ever want a good laugh, just find a video clip of Emmett Walsh laughing. It'll do it every time. My number 3 choice has been in over 200 films and television series, and he's made every one of them better by simply appearing. Best known for his award-winning role in the Coen brothers' first film Blood Simple, Walsh has had great parts in everything from The Jerk to Ordinary People, from Blade Runner to Fletch, Back to School, and Raising Arizona. Whether he had a starring role or a small cameo, he was memorable and wonderful. My favorite character of his was Mac, the leader of the old Pier crew opposite Nick Nolte in Cannery Row. Emmett Walsh makes me smile every time he steps into frame. At number 2 on the list is John Goodman, a man who has had his share of starring roles but is much better suited to play secondary characters. He has immense range, playing characters as diverse as the bumbling Gale in Raising Arizona, the fearsome Charlie Meadows in Barton Fink, the wonderful Walter Sobchak in The Big Lebowski, and Big Dan T in Oh Brother Where Art Thou? And those are just the Coen brothers films. He's played Babe Ruth and King Ralph, a blues brother and a monster, cops and crooks, coaches and players, and can reel you in as a sweet fatherly type, a bureaucrat or dreamer, or a dark, violent crime lord. He is phenomenal, and he makes everything he touches better. Number 1 is a tie because it had to be. My favorite character actors of all time are Charles Durning and Harry Dean Stanton, 2 giants of the genre who are beloved and revered, yet still don't get the respect and admiration they deserve. Stanton was an artist's artist. He's a fine singer and songwriter and a true believer in the art itself. He made his name in independent movies mostly, but also held his own against cinema's greats in blockbuster movies like Cool Hand Luke, Kelly's Heroes, The Green Mile, Pretty in Pink, Alien, and The Rose. He was most at home in those indies though. He took movies like Repo Man, Paris, Texas, Escape from New York, and Lucky, and crafted characters who will never be forgotten or bested. A World War II veteran from Kentucky, he can play tough characters as vulnerable and broken and add layers to roles that would have disappeared in a lesser actor's hands. He was simply said an understated, underappreciated genius. Charles Durning, on the other hand, had the ability to create larger-than-life characters from almost nothing and could turn good lines into great scenes. His ability to completely change a scene's mood with a simple glance or groan made him the best at what he did, at least in my opinion. Derning could make you fall in love with him as he did in Tootsie, or he could make you hate him as he did in The Sting or Stick, and he could make you laugh and dance as he did in Sharky's Machine, The Hudsucker Proxy, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. He played beloved characters on both stage and screen as he joined his friend Burt Reynolds on TV with Evening Shade and won awards for his work in LA's theater scene. Another World War II veteran, he brought gravitas to roles that needed it and joy to the ones that didn't. He was an actor's actor and a true gentleman both on and off screen. He won a Golden Globe and was nominated for Oscars and Emmys, and he was my favorite non-Muppet character in the original Muppet movie. As for the next generation of great character actors, I'd say keep an eye on Macon Blair, who has made a name for himself working with his buddy Jeremy Saulnier in such films as Murder Party, Blue Ruin, and Green Room, and is now appearing in plenty of well-regarded fare. Joining him on my list of the best going today is one of our nation's best comics, Patton Oswalt. I had no idea he would be able to pull off the range of characters he's taken on, and he's doing it very, very well. That's my list. Let me know what you think in the comments and share your own. For the Johnson City Press, this is the latest edition of the Pop Chronicle. I'm Jared Bentley. Thanks for watching.